Hello everybody, my name is Farmer Phil, and in today's video, the first calves have arrived. Liv is behind the camera too. Time to let them out. Also, this video is sponsored by Herdwatch. We use Herdwatch for all our farm recording needs. We've been using it 4 or 5 years now, using it a long time. But what we do now is we use Herdwatch for the calf movements. So for the calves moving into the herd, taking down all the numbers now to make sure we have the right ones, because when you're dealing with a lot of calves, sometimes mistakes happen. Right, who's first? 2796. 2880. And now, that is the first calves of this calf rearing season in the shed. I'm quite happy. We have the feeders just stationed off at the minute so that they can rinse all night, and then we'll feed the calves in the morning before we go off back to slurry. But happy out now. So what we have here is 20 FR, FRX and JX calves. So these are our cross-bag calves. These are all a month old. That's the first change. No calves under a month old. The second change is all these calves are vaccinated for Pasteurella and pneumonia. We give the farmer the vaccines, the Bovipast or SP I think it is, isn't it? And the farmer has vaccinated the calves for us. He's done them 4 days ago. So they're already covered for their first shot. Then we'll give them their booster shot in 4 weeks time. Just have to keep checking with the farm manager here. We give them booster shots. That's the next thing that we're doing differently this year, is the calves are coming to us pre-vaccinated, and hopefully that might solve, if what happened last year happened to us again, that might avoid as much trouble as we had. Currently there's no other changes. The vet was out today, and there's a couple of things. I have to move a few bales of straw just to put there, just because we have an easterly wind at the minute, which we normally don't have, and that end of the shed's a bit open, so I have to put a few up just to cool it up. We also have to cut or add ventilation in the top gable end. We've that end done, but we have to do it to that end as well. He wanted that done. What else was there? We have to go with probiotics to them for 4 days. We have to do them with IBR in 2 days time. Tomorrow. So that's what the vet had to say. Didn't get filmed, but we weren't around. But that's when he come out and he had a look. There's a lovely calf. Nice colour, aren't you, boss? Aren't you? So these are all bull calves here. But yeah, so currently that's the first changes. As in this video, as we meet different changes that we're making this year, we'll talk about them, and we will come back in the morning. I'll give Liv a hand getting them all the first feed on the feeder, and we'll see how it goes from there. But yeah, nice batch of cross-bag dairy bull calves. It is. We'll pick it up in the morning.
Come on, hey Twix. Come on. Come on, who wants trusty? No, stay.
That's it.
Come on.
You know what these are?
Come on.
So, as you can probably tell, things aren't going so well.
Help!
Calf feeder's not working. They aren't working. At all. You pair of rascals. You pair of rascals. You pair of rascals. That is 10 of the calves feeding away there on the tit feeders. All feeding fine. The other 10 are that side. And our feeder, as I said, isn't working. It's not doing anything. It's not, there's a problem between the screen and the unit itself. It's not getting the message from there into there. Absolutely sickening. We put away working. We done everything we were supposed to. It was left plugged in on standby all winter. It was, everything seemed fine till we put on the new pipes, plugged everything back in, and then it starts to scrap. Stop, Nelly. They're coming out to look at this later on today, hopefully, and seeing what exactly is wrong. And on the calf feeder, I don't know have I said it yet, but we, as you would have seen at the plough, and we went looking at Urban and Volek, or Urban and JFC, and we were looking at calf feeders, and we have ordered a new calf feeder. The calf feeder's in, ready to be fitted, but because we went for the grant on it, we have to wait till we get grant approval before it can be fitted and paid for, so that everything is in the right order. So we're waiting on the grant approval, which is taking its time, and only for that we'd have a new feeder in, and this wouldn't be happening. But hopefully we get grant approved before we get the next shed set up, so that we can get that feeder in, the new feeder in down there, and then we'll sell our second feeder. At the minute it's still there just in case, but absolute nightmare. We're not happy, are we, Liv? No. Come on. Come on. I was not looking forward to doing it this way this morning. Which one is Twix? That one. So this one, Liv is named Twix because he's a reddish calf. All happy tails wagging away like dogs, aren't they? So just about finished. Twix is the slow one, and it's Bertie's favourite time of the year because he gets to eat lots of calf poo. That is literally what Bertie lives off from now on, calf poo, and he's not happy unless he's in there sniffing out a bit. Also, while I was going through the feeder and trying to figure out things on, see could we figure out what was wrong, I got to the Star Hub page and how much has been put through that feeder. Do you think we'll leave it as a guessing game? Yeah. Guess how many litres of milk has gone through that, and how many ton, we'll go to tons, of powder has been put through that machine. We've had that machine since 2015, isn't it? I think it was 15 we put that machine in. Jeez, I can't remember. 16, so we bought one, and then yeah, 2016 that feeder's in, so it's in 7 years. This is its 7th season. How many litres of milk and how many tons of powder do you think have put through it? Can we give a prize for it? Yes, we'll give a cap. We'll give a Farmer Phil cap to whoever gets to the nearest amount. So you can go to your tons and kilos and your litres, whatever you think, and the closest, the person who gets both of them to the closest will win a cap. And we'll announce that in the next video, because we'll do this video with the first calves coming, hopefully getting that running in a few bits, and then there'll be one more big thing that's changing this year, another larger thing, more to do with the calves than anything. So yeah, we'll announce the winner in that, so work away there. Oh man, he's desperate slow. We're trying to get the next lads fed with some kind of speed. Calves are finished. Put back together and back together. I have to wash this. Liv's going to feed her other 3 calves, the older lads. So we put calf jacket on that guy in there. He's just looking a bit sad. And we have lots of calf jackets. Liv bought more. We got some off Country Farm Supplies in Cork, and we have ones from last year. So you see a calf, you're not just doesn't look too hot, just stick it on him. Probably nothing wrong with him, but you just stick it on him. There's lots of them there, so there's no point being mean about it. Yeah, that's them. We got her Liffey Mills Elvor and Liffey Mills Calf 18. Big thanks to Mark, he actually dropped it down. There was a mix up and our 2 pallets didn't get put on the lorry to come this way, so he tore up and brought bags to us, so big thanks to Mark. And that's calves. Bertie, you have to lift out Bertie now, because as smart as he is, he's not that smart at getting in and out of the pen. He has to be lifted in and out. time for me to go off, spread a bit of slurry, and look after them. We'll be back this evening then, hopefully we're working feeder and we'll get them fed that way. And what was I going to say? I was going to say something. Yes, Liv will do the movement permit on them later on Herdwatch. So the reason we do it on Herdwatch is we can stand in here with the permit on the app, so we can see the calf numbers that's on the app. We can have the cards in the other hand and the calves in front of us, and we can go calf number, check we have the card, check we have the calf, and then that way we know exactly that everything is right. And what I mean by the card, every calf has a blue card, which is like its passport. So from the day it's born to the day it goes to the factory, that card goes to every farm it goes to, every TB test is done, all gets marked onto it, and that's their passport. That's the blue card. Come back later on, we'll get them fed. So, what I've just done there, it's another thing that we're doing differently this year. Well, couldn't have done it any other year. Is I'm after putting in a trough and red clover, some of our red clover silage. Now, we tried it on the calves that's outside, the ones that we've already reared. We were giving them red clover silage to see how that would work with them, make sure there was no upsets or things like that. Because with the red clover, it's higher protein, so if the calves are eating some of that as the roughage, then they're going to intake more protein. More protein means more muscle growth, means grow bigger. That's why we're giving them that. And just on the forage or the roughage end of it, we generally don't put out any of them hay racks, because ample amounts of hay there and ample amounts of clean, good straw stacked out, they can nibble away, so they never run out. They're never at a point where they start nibbling at the straw on the ground because they don't have any roughage to eat. They always have roughage and ample amounts of it, and that's why we leave the bales like that, because they can get any amount of it. And as you can see, there's 2 calves already going for a munch in the red clover. So I might give them a little bit there just to make sure that there's no upsets on these calves. There wasn't with the last ones, and if it's just that they eat more of that than they do with other stuff, more protein, hopefully more growth, and these guys grow big and strong. So now everyone, it is another evening. Feeder is working, so they have her all calibrated. What was wrong was that board was gone and there was a chip in the main board in there gone, but that's all fixed now. So now it's time to get it calibrated up and get ready to start feeding calves. Can't reach it. Calibrated up to start feeding calves. Calibrated, we get her all organized, hopefully all is grand, and we get going. Now just on something else, so you can see here we've a bucket with tits and pipes in it, and they are being steeped in Milton. So as another thing the vet said, so every evening, we haven't used it yet obviously, but every evening from tomorrow onward we swap the tits and the pipes that go from the bowl to the tit, because that pipe doesn't get anything washed through it. So swap them every evening, vet's orders. Okay, get stuck into it. Calibrate. Now that's the feeder set to feed, and we've all calibrated, so hopefully we'll have some life. Okay, let's go circulate the milk through the lines now, so we should get, well, it will be milk, because there'll be some water in the lines from rinsing itself. So it's going to circulate through all them, pour milk in all the lines. So it's going to take maybe 5 minutes. That gives us time to set up our gates. So
You time.
me time.
I don't ask much, I don't want a gift, I just need your love. Can you feel it coming? Can you feel it coming? Can you feel it? Can you hear that sound in your heart so loud? Can you feel it coming? Can you feel it coming?
our calf here. Never been in the feeder before, so the feeder now is registering the calves because they all have their EID tag numbers. This guy's probably one of the smaller ones in the pen, doesn't fill it too much, but so he's registered to the feeder now, so it has milk in the bowl, has it? Has?
Yeah.
So then to get the calf to feed, we draw some milk up into the tit, and then we just get his mouth over it and then give his mouth a little squeeze. He gets to taste the milk and he's away. And now the feeder's going to give each calf 2 litres of milk, and they can come back into the feeder themselves in 4 hours time and get another 2 litres. And because these calves are older, we're going to change our feeder up a little bit, that they'll be starting on, what would you say, 5 litres, maybe shortening our growth curve. Because these calves are going to be older now coming in, we're hoping, where we used to do a bag and a half per calf, we're hoping to go with a bag per calf, because we shouldn't need to put as much milk into them because they're older. That's the theory anyway, so we're going to shorten our curve to suit that. Just one at a time now, we get these guys fed, and then we go off and get the next load of calves. And yeah, it really starts to kick off then. So who's next? You're all fed. Liv has a green marker in her hand there, and she's just giving them a mark in the head so we know who's fed and who's not. So the bowl is mixing at the minute. That's the biggest drawback to this feeder, is it mixes a litre at a time and then it pumps to each calf. It takes a little bit of time when you're trying to train in calves to get them done, but when the new feeder comes, the improvements are massive, aren't they? Well, the sound massive.
I think he's finished.
Go back in. Right. Get the taste of it. Get the in the mouth. And away to go. There are 20 calves here fed. Happy as Larry, they're all lying out there. So our gate's in here now, so when we bring back our next calves, they can go in there. We're going to go off and get the next load of calves. Oh man, has really started, hasn't it? So we are back with a new load of calves, next load of calves, and unfortunately bales are in the bloody way. But we'll come back to this. A bag of milk replacer bust open on the ground, and we're examining footprints. Liv says it might be the dogs, but I have a funny feeling it might be Brucey boy.
Well, you moved him.
Bit of a bloody mess, alright. We'll have to gather that up somewhat, and yeah, we have to lay out these calves now one at a time and give them some probiotics as vet's instructions, and yeah.
It's all for you in days like these. Never forget what you mean to me.
So that's them sorted. We actually have one calf already gone into it and he's getting fed. And we also have 2 of them in there getting another fill of milk. Come on, Bosco, come on. Little small guy, come on. Sure, he's getting fed. So mix in here 1 Hereford, you can see him there with a bit of a different coloured head. Rest is a mix of FR, FRX, JX and NRX, so Norwegian Red. Farmer has some Belgian Blues, Charolais and more Herefords first the next time round, and Charolais is a breed we've never had on the farm before, so it'll be interesting to see. Superb lovely looking calves, aren't they? I've never seen such a great calf, but they'll be coming the next time round. But this is the start of these ones. Good strong guys. You can see the difference in the breeding between them. Roughly speaking, same age, but they're just that bit smaller, they're bigger. Same age, but just 2 different herds, different type of cow. We get them trained on the feeder, get them trained on the feeder, get them all together, and another load, well, not full load, I think 10 or 12 to come tomorrow as well then. So we'll pick it up in the morning when we're feeding them, and we go see where Bruce has gone. Bloody pig. And it is the next morning. One of the calves is in drinking. So we're going to go through the feeder now, see how many of them have drank and how many of these have drank. I think a good few of them have drank. There's a handful out there drank, but we're going to have to feed most of them. So Liv is on it, are you? We'll get the whiteboard, we'll get her marker, and we see how many have to be fed. The sums have been done. Liv, how many calves of the first 20 have to be fed?
6.
6. How many calves of the next 20 have fed themselves?
7.
7. So 7 out of 20 have fed themselves with no instructions, and a good few of them have already been in but didn't drink because they're registered on the feeder. And then we have 6 to feed here, which isn't too bad on their second day on the feeder. So it just takes, it can take about 4 or 5 days to actually get them where you're down to 1 or 2 out of 20 that need to be fed. But here's what happens now: when they see us, they line up because these are older calves. They've become institutionalized to, they see person, they get fed. So once we have to try and break that cycle so that they feed themselves. So it could take a bit longer than normal now, because that was one of the things why we used to take younger calves, because they weren't as institutionalized as an older calf.
So teach it all dog nutrients.
Yeah, as Liv said. So anyways, we're going to get these fed. We have to IBR them later on this evening and give them more probiotics. The vet wants them to get probiotics for the first 4 days they're here. We're okay for powder, and I have me Celac seaweed to go in, so I might just throw in a spoon of that. So this is the seaweed, powdered seaweed. Smells like the sea, and we just mix it in to the micropressor. Not an accurate mixing, but 2 scoops to a bag. And what we found, we've been using that. How long have we been using the seaweed? 4 years? Remember, myself and Uncle Ian went into,
And me.
oh, the 3 of us went into the local co-op, and we seen the tubs of seaweed stacked at the counter, and we were like, we'll give them a go. And we actually got in touch with Jennifer then after that, and we've done a bit of work with her over the years. But we've been using it now. Sure, must be 4 years ago. Quite literally, that is the only stuff we put in with the milk powder, and this year then we're using probiotics as the vet requested. Seaweed is just full of extra minerals, antioxidants and stuff like that, and from the bit we've done it, we've seen a reduction in our sickness rate from the years before we started using it, so that's why we use it. Anyways, happy out, Liv?
Yeah.
It's all for you. Do you feel it too? This is the moment your dreams come true. Nothing compares. I wanna show you.
Pretend it's feeding time. So, the IBR vaccine comes in 2 bits. It's intranasal, and we have to mix the 2 together. So, we get them mixed. It's 1 mixed. And then these are the intranasal applicators. So, that goes in the end. 2 ml dose up the nose, and that covers it.
Just look at Liv now. She's going around there by herself, and she's getting calves done without any hassle.
These ones are happy.
Like, well, she's a couple of easy ones done now, but she's quite literally a one-woman bandwagon. Doesn't need any help. So I'm going to start feeding calves here. I have my list here, which isn't too bad now. These are calves that haven't drank twice today, so everything's drank once. These wouldn't have drank twice. But I'm just baffled at how good Liv is at this job.
Just because you're so bad.
Thanks. Doing intranasal sprays, I absolutely hate. It used to be the most painful job to try and do. Gotta love that woman, isn't that it? That it, Liv?
Yeah.
It's all for you. Do you feel it too?
And just like that, in the space of about 5 minutes, Liv has 20 calves IBR'd in the most stress-free way you could do it. I'm just after putting in 43, 46. It's a free Martin heifer. For those of you that don't know, a free Martin heifer is a heifer born twin to a bull, and generally speaking, they are infertile. 4 more calves, well, 3 out of that 20 needed to be fed, and I fed 2 since that, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we've 6 calves here to be fed, 4 left. When we've them fed, we're going to let them out into the rest of the pen, and then we'll get some clean fresh straw, best allicin down onto that, and then we'll be ready to get the next load of calves, which is coming. And once we get the next load, I think we'll have a bit of a break then for 5 days or that to get what we have on in the feeders, and then the next batch of 20 comes. So yeah, we'll get these guys fed up, get straw changed, and the next load of calves in, and yeah, doesn't be long filling up, so it doesn't. That's the next 20 calves in. Some lovely calves in here now. You know, there's some nice coloured calves. I do always like a few red and brown ones, or red and high ones. We're just changing the tits on the feeder now for the ones that steeped in the Milton, and changing the pipes then as well that feed from the bowl to the tit. So, well, when I say we, Liv is actually doing it. I better put down the camera and give her a hand. And we'll come back in the morning. We'll see how many has fed themselves there and there. And yeah, another day, another 20 calves. And it's the next morning, we're in the shed. The all starting to come up now. Oh, kicking over the kettle here. So there's a good bit of powder gone out, which is a good sign. So we'll go through the feeder, see who needs to be fed and who's fed in that pen. So I may show it out to Liv, and we'll see what way we're looking. We have gone through the feeder. Everyone with a T is from the training pen went in and hasn't fed. And of our 40 calves in there, we have 1, 2, 3 calves. So 37 calves have fed themselves. So I would call that a resounding success. So they've all come up now because we're here. This is the thing we have to try and break. It's just going to take a week or two before they stop doing this, coming up when we appear, because it's just, as I said before, they're institutionalized. So, and now we get stuck in and get them calves fed. There's a couple of the ones in there that have fed themselves. Actually, Pricer wrote down their numbers too. No, yeah. So I'll have to go back and do that now. But I don't know, is there much point in showing you more calf feeding, because it's all the same. We're going to leave it at that for today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. Calf rearing 2023 has started, and find some wood to touch. Is there any wood to touch? There's wood to touch. Touch wood. This year goes well for us. Yeah, Liv, any other comments to say? Anyways, we're going to leave it at that for today's video. As always, please like and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you leave your comment down below on how many tons of powder and litres of milk you think the feeder has put out, and whoever gets the closest to it is going to get a hat. Anyways, we'll announce the winner and that in the next video we do on the calves. Whereas we're leaving it. As always, please like and subscribe to the channel. Videos every Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday. That's it from us. Good luck.